Yes, we're live.
Hey, it's Evan Kirstel here. I'm with the one and only, and there is indeed only one, Jaffe, Joseph Jaffe.
Thank
But it's
God.
been a long time, and we wanted to catch up. So I thought, why not catch up live on the air? That's like the new thing is live. You taught me that. And what is new, my friend?
Well, first of all, it's so great to be on StreamYard because I arrive with my own applause, which is like amazing. So, and of course the
No,
jokes.
I really need to catch up. I need special effects. I need a lot of
You
things,
got
but
to.
I will.
Can,
I
my
will
favorite
get those tips and tricks from you during the show.
my favorite one
Uh,
is this. If I want to say you sexy, that's the best one. That's it. Never gets old. It never gets old.
Man, you are the man, and you've been very busy. The reason we haven't spoken is I'm knee deep in clients and schlepping stuff around to trade shows. But you're, as always, at the cutting edge, the bleeding edge
I'm knee deep
of
in other stuff.
innovation. So tell us what are you knee deep in? There's something called alpha, omega, beta. I was very. Is like are you a superhero now? Is that what's basically
Hold
going
on.
on?
Hold on. No, I'm knee deep in alpha. I it's so funny because the the spark, right, is I'm sitting at home on a Saturday. I think the weather's kind of crappy and I'm like on the bed with my
Yeah,
laptop
it's New
and
England. We're both
yeah,
in New England, so
yeah, and
I
I'm
know the
like
drill. Yeah,
warm and cozy and Kevin Rose is busy launching his Proof Collective and I'm watching the Dutch
no idea about
auction.
what any of that means, but I'll ask you later. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so Kevin Rose, a pretty big deal in Web 2, in the Mashable and the TechCrunch and specifically the Dig days. And he launches
Uh-huh.
this art collective and using a Dutch auction, and it sells out in about 2 hours. And I calculate the revenue, and I missed out. All I had was 0.75 in my wallet, and it just literally sold out at 1 ETH. And today the floor is 30, 35, 40 ETH. But in the failure and in the disappointment, what happened was I had an epiphany, which is this is the new model. The new model is to be able to use an NFT as a membership pass, as access to join a cabal, a collective, a group of like-minded people, centered around a shared purpose and a passion to achieve the same goals. And so I reached out to a bunch of people I'd worked with before, that I spend time with now, and I pitched them with the idea of what if we could create a premium community designed around business and specifically the business of Web3. What if we could bring together executives, corporates, and degens or entrepreneurs, crypto enthusiasts, and figure out ways for them to network, to collaborate, to teach each other, to help one another, to inspire one another, and do that in an exclusive but not excluding manner. And so the Alpha Collective was born, and we announced it a couple weeks ago, and we start minting. What's the date today? We start minting April. Oh, I almost just let a bit of alpha out there. We're minting soon, within the next 2 weeks, April something. We know that we're minting in April now.
So let's talk about that. But so the Alpha Collective, it's like the Marvel universe. Is that it, but in business and in real life? Is that the analogy?
Some people call me the Incredible Sulk when I don't get my way. No, I mean it's
Ba-dum-bum.
yeah. I
So what's
mean,
your
oh, I
superpower
got I got
besides
that.
sulking? Which one of the superpowers have you been endowed with in the
So
Alpha
I've been
Collective?
called I'm known as the visionary.
Ah,
And I like that. I like that because it's actually, I mean, it's flattering, but it's also a tremendous responsibility because what if your vision is underwhelming, and what if your vision is inaccurate? But I will tell you that one of the things that I'll just mention two things. I'm not a futurist. I don't like the concept of thinking about chips in brains and transhumanism. And I'm a skating to where the puck is going to be type of guy, which worked well for Gretzky. So that's a role model. I'm a 12 to 18 month out guy. But in some cases, when I wrote my first book, Life After the 30-Second Spot, I introduced what I call 10 alternatives to traditional advertising. So as an example, one of them was called communal marketing, which I defined as marketing to and through communities. Another one
Not
was called
communes, actual
not
communities. So
not convinced.
this
No,
this isn't about running around and living in a tent off the grid.
I mean that's fine too if you go to Burning Man. But the other one was what I called consumer generated content. Now,
so how long ago did you predict?
Well, that's the point, right? I wrote it in 2004.
Oh my goodness!
YouTube didn't exist, nor did the term social media, nor did Facebook. So you have that, and then actually in Flip the Funnel, I spoke about this concept called universal currency, which I actually defined as every company would have a coin, sound familiar, a token, a branded one, like Nike would have a swoosh that would be their currency. And with currency, you can buy, sell, trade, hold, gift, redeem, exchange. And what I didn't realize is 12 years later, it would exist. It wouldn't be the brands. It would be the B2B coin and the Jaffe coin. And, and crypto, which I hadn't even heard of then, and I don't think anyone had, would be the actual mechanism. So if we go back to this idea of it's not actually, the founders and our advisors each have a superpower, but ultimately our tentpole, our flagship offering is something called Alpha Talks. And so we're going to have 52 Alpha Talks delivered by 52 Alpha Talk speakers across 52 weeks, the likes of which we've never seen. And we've got people like Charlene Lee, like David Meerman Scott, all of us are going to be delivering as well, but it's more than that. Brian Solis, we've got, it's who did we announce? Who did we announce this week? It's such a blur. It's such a blur for me who we even have. But it's just Tamsin Webster. We've got marketing thought leaders, but we've also got Web3 people as well that are going to come in and share their thoughts I'll give you a tiny little bit of alpha. Shara Lazar, we haven't even announced her yet. So I just told you something that no one else knows as well. And so we're going to have 52 of these speakers that will be inspiring, provoking, bridging the gap or bridging this chasm between Web 2 and Web 3. And the reality is, if there are 6 of us as the founders and the advisors, and there are 52 of these Alpha Talk speakers, there are going to be 1,000 paid membership or members. And so we is greater than me, as Fanzo would say. Well, the we is everyone who buys a membership pass and everyone who's a part of it. And so that's how I look at every single person that buys into this comes with a superpower. And we will attempt to expose, uncover, celebrate, leverage, compensate, whatever the case may be. So I'm very excited about this. And Evan, I really do think that this is the Web3 solution to what Web 2 could not do. Web 2 said everything is free. Bloggers, Flickr, all of the platforms.
It reminds me a little bit about one of my favorite organizations is TED and TEDx. And I love TEDx. I help volunteer at one here in Boston, TEDx Boston. My fiance actually founded TEDx Boston. The TED community is amazing. But there's just, it's a little long in the tooth, or maybe the format just has never changed, the red dot. And it's great for consuming TED content, but that community part, I don't know that I feel like part of the TED community. It's fun being there and consuming and watching, and just sort of like you're in a movie theater. But what will be different? They're better, bigger, newer than like a TEDx kind of deal.
So it's interesting comparison, thinking about TED. Obviously TED itself is not free, whereas
it's to say the least. Yeah,
I
wanted to go last year. It was about $10,000 if I recall to attend in person. Yeah,
I think we're more affordable than that, and I think we have more speakers. We're actually, by the way, selling at 1 ETH, And just I'll come back to it because it's a really good point. Uh, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm getting like very antsy because I'm looking at the price of ETH going up. I don't want it to go up. I want people
Mm,
to buy into this as cheaply as possible. And I do anticipate, if you look, again, the Proof Collective's floor is at 40 ETH at the moment. I absolutely anticipate that the floor will reflect the value that we're delivering, but I want it to be affordable. But anyway, going back to what you were saying, as a benchmark. I mean, I think it's interesting because, yes, that's what we're building. We're building a community, number one. Number two is, and again, we're not comparing, it's not comparable. TED is TED, but it's
yeah, it's an
but it's
institution.
access. Yeah, but and yesterday I had Simon Mainwaring on my show, and we both quoted Mae West right at the beginning, which is, marriage is an institution, but I'm not ready for an institution yet. But but and I can't afford it, Ted. But here's the thing: our 52 Alpha Talk speakers, the intent is every single one of them has been handpicked and curated and sourced. For the most part, they've all come through my show, most of them, almost everyone. And so they're not going to just show up and present and leave. They're going to be
Mm,
members of the community. And the more they put in, the more they will get out. But in addition, the actual format of the Alpha Talk is as follows: 20 minutes will be an inspirational address, whether it's PowerPoint or just talking. 10 minutes will be a very curated Q&A between one of the founders and them. So in particular, bridging the gap, right? So paying off our value proposition, which is how do you unlock the value and opportunities of the business of Web3? But then 30 minutes is a town hall like discussion between members and these speakers. And so if you think about it, if you're in early at the Alpha Collective and you're in a room, remember there are only 1,000 passes. So if you're in early enough and you're in the first 100, chances are you're going to be able to pick the brain of every one of these Alpha Talk speakers in the first week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And probably what's going to happen is you're probably going to be in a position. There goes my phone. I forgot to switch it off. You're probably going to be in a position as well, not just to ask a question or maybe a couple of questions, but actually build a relationship with them. And so, access is the key, Evan. It's access. That's what NFTs are giving us. They're giving us access. And it's a democratized access, and it is a shared access through shared ownership. So I think there's a nuance here, which is we're using Web3 principles to actually go to market. But we are not a DAO, we're an LLC. So we're
mm.
also demonstrating that the answer is to find the balance between the world that was and the world that will be. So we're walking our talk by creating an LLC with DAO-like characteristics as opposed to a DAO with corporate-like characteristics, because corporate characteristics are terrible: politics, dysfunction, risk aversion, etc.
That's why we're both independent out of the corporate rat
Yeah, for
race, by
sure.
the way. But absolutely, and that's such an intriguing uh, organization, and it also shows that it demonstrates the need to monetize this content. I mean, what we're doing now is it monetized. I monetize it through clients who pay me to blow them up on social media, but a lot of this stuff that we're giving away is it's only fair to empower and to pay the creators and the participants in this economy, right? I mean, it's not just that you're doing this as a business, which I find fantastic.
Well, and we're trying to talk. We're talking about the business of Web3, so that includes everything you just said, which is there's a term that I've coined, that I, pun not intended, that I'm starting to use now, which is brand FOMO. Because the reality is, I've worked in digital, in social, in mobile, in the startup craze. I've been there at every skip or stuck track in the broken record of brands trying to figure it out, and they mess it up. In fact, they up and see I censored myself, and and then they run with their tail between their legs, and then they stay on the sidelines and they miss out. And so all of the stuff, I don't want to make a mistake, I don't want to lose my job, I don't want to be too late, I don't want to miss out. That's brand FOMO, and it is very, very real. And so the thing is, when you talk about monetization, why not monetize? I mean, if you're a brand, for example, if you're a corporate, you don't give away your Tide for free. So like now with all of us as creators, I absolutely am an advocate for the creator economy, because everyone, and that's what NFTs bring to the table. And so, as this idea of like royalties and residuals, it is, you know me, I teach marketing at NYU and Western Connecticut State University, and I'm teaching them about the 4 Ps, which is the anchor of marketing theory. And the 1 P that we have never really figured out how to leverage, that it always has been, come along for the ride, is the P of price. So with dynamic pricing, with floors that move, with secondary markets, with royalties and residuals, with Dutch auctions, this is the key, that plus access. If someone wants to say like, what excites me about this whole space, it is pricing innovation being applied now in an unprecedented way for access. And then, of course, the third part is shared ownership, which is a huge part.
I love it. I love the access part. I mean, in my little way with my Rally Creator Coin B2B, it's a way for me to provide access to someone who wants to brainstorm or run some ideas, by me, or learn some tips and tricks about social. I can do it in a way that
And
supports
and
my business, as well as gives them value by holding the coin. So it's been fantastic.
and I'll tell you something that I've been playing around with, but the person that really, really has just knocked the skin off the ball and knocked it out the park is Gary Henderson, and what he's doing with his Gary coin and his giraffe tower. Because the reality is, this actually is a hold economy. The one thing for people that are watching, there are 2 things about this rally.io, these creator coins, that you need to know if you don't already, and you should if you've been following Evan, because he is in the in the epicenter of the wheelhouse. One is rewards that comes every week, and the other one is the power of holding, not hodling, but holding. So in other words, you don't have to actually like I tell people, you can hold Jaffe coin, you don't have to send it to me. I'm going to be launching something new. Here's something as well that I haven't told anyone. But
Uh-oh.
it's just
Breaking news. Do you have a
no, no. I
breaking
mean,
news
it's
music?
just you and me. I don't see anyone else. No, but what I'm going to be doing now is launching essentially. If you hold 250 Jaffe coin, which is not cheap, the Jaffe coin is about $12 at the moment. But just by holding it, you will be able to actually become a guest on the show. You essentially get a walk-on role on the show. So,
Love
so
it.
the thing might be like, well, that sounds expensive, but like, is it expensive? First of all, if you look at my coin just continues to increase in terms of value because I'm providing more value. More people are sharing and creating that value as well. And so there's that. But more importantly, if you if you don't get the value, you sell the coin or you
Right.
exchange the coin for B2B. And so that's the thing. But if you think about it, it's mind blowing. Why would I give away a walk on role on my show when I'm actually not even getting 1 penny back? But yes, I am. I'm getting something back because everyone is benefiting, because another holder, more coins in circulation, more value created across the board. And like I promise you, there are people watching this going, I still don't get it. But that is the essence of
Well, I
what
didn't
we're
get it
doing.
until I still don't get it, but it's continual learning, and I love the opportunity as well to bring in sponsors. I mean, I have essentially sponsors for what I do. You have sponsors for your show, corporations, small, big businesses, and I assume the Alpha Collective can also engage sponsorships. And what a great opportunity to again escape that corporate rat race while still working with blue chip tech or other companies.
Yeah, exactly. And what we've announced at the moment, and the only thing that we've announced is the Alpha Talks, which is again the flagship offering. But there is going to be increasing opportunities to connect, to collaborate, to network, which is not just members helping members and members meeting members, but actually members saying, "Hey, I'm looking for XYZ," and someone else says, "Oh, you're looking for someone who can develop a secure smart contract. I can put you
Mm.
in touch with them." But then the other one is going to be, IRL events. What we're not doing is creating at the moment, which is not to, I've been there, done that. I literally bought the T-shirt in Second Life in terms of existing in a virtual world. But we're going to be doing IRL events. We're going to be meeting up in person and again bridging this gap between the virtual, which is amazing, fantastic. Look, at you and I have never met before, but we know each other. We have each other's coin. We have each other's back, and when we do meet each other, we're gonna break bread and
It
have
will
a
happen.
have a
I,
scotch.
I I assume this summer you'll be coming up to Maine, so we will
We
definitely
almost did
connect.
it, right? We almost did it. We tried. But
So
yeah.
you've got the Alpha Collective, you got the Jaffe Show, you've got the Coin. Any other special projects you're working on? Are you going to write another book? Is there another platform or format? Give us a a peek behind the curtain in terms of what's on your mind.
Well, I'm teaching, and it's a
Yeah,
real passion of mine. So I'm teaching. One of my classes is undergrad, and the other one is continued education. Basically, it's the School for Professional Studies at NYU. So
fantastic.
it's graduate, postgrad. Um, and I want to continue. I mean, my common theme in my life, whether I've been keynoting on stage or facilitating a workshop or sitting on a panel or teaching, it's teaching. It's just really being able to help other people, whether it's to inspire, provoke, challenge. The greatest compliment I've ever received in my life, and I continue to, is people that have come up. It's not a compliment, it's more like it's scary. They've come up to me saying, "I just quit my job because of you, because I'm now going to pursue this." And no one has ever come back to me years later saying, like, like,
How
"Why did you
dare
make
you?
me do that?" No, because I mean, because passion really is infectious. So the Alpha Collective is a big project, and I'm all in on this, and I'm going to really, really lean into it. I'm absolutely committed to the Jaffe coin and the Jaffe economy, and this whole ecosystem. And of course, my show, Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous. I mean, I've manifested the fact that I'm not going to stop until the show is on CNBC or Cheddar or CNN Plus or something like that. This honestly, the show is too good right now to not be seen by as many people that deserve to see it. And I'm saying that because it's important, because people need to see that if I don't believe, if I'm not going to bleed for the show, then how the hell and why would I expect them to? Even someone who watches the show, that is an hour of their time that they will never get back, unless it's time well spent. And so that's how I feel about it. And so that's enough for me. I promise you, it's enough for me to be doing.
It's fantastic, and you look great. You mentioned you were running a marathon at South by the other week.
No, I didn't.
People, or a run. You were running. You
I
okay? You
ran 5 kilometers, which I barely
five
made,
k, which is
which I
more than I could
barely
run.
made.
But you look great. I think you say you feel great. People may have followed your travails with COVID, earlier this year, but
And heart
you
surgery, and
and
and a
heart
little thing
surgery.
called open heart surgery, which was my I'm one of the few people that can honestly say that 2021 sucked a lot worse and a lot harder than 2020 did.
Well, you've come through it with flying colors. You can see the red in your cheeks, and
That might be the
your
caffeine.
enthusiasm is infectious. So yeah, we'll be following the Alpha Collective and at Jaffe Juice on Twitter. So thanks
That,
for catching up. It's been
thank
really
you.
good to see you.
And I will say that let me give something back. I don't have an airdrop
Oh, stop
for
it.
your billions and billions of viewers, but I will say two things, which is anyone that goes to rally.io/creator/Jaffe and buys Jaffe coin, just ping me. I'm very easy. You can send me a DM on Twitter, or you can even put a little note there, and I will give you 10% over and above. You buy $100, I will give you $10 worth of Jaffe coin, but you must mention B2B. You must mention the B2B coin. And then the other thing is, if you go to alphacollective.xyz, enter your email address, and we're giving away a membership pass every week until we mint out, or well on the way to minting out. And as I said earlier, we're starting to sell that at 1 ETH. So that's a $3,400 value, all access, 1 year membership pass. All you have to do is just put in your email address, and we'll let you know when we start minting.
I'm literally doing it now, so
You
I
should.
will. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Joseph.
I'll try and
Take
make sure
care.
you win.
All right. Bye bye.
Thanks, Evan.